everybody thinks, hunting ag ground is easier. And I think in some ways of, as well as far as like figuring out deer movement and where deer are, because the food sources are very obvious. It might be, but at the same time, those areas tend to get a lot of pressure. So you get a whole different set of difficulty with that type of ground, where as opposed to like maybe big hill country, it's harder hunting, but you get less pressure. So the deer move a little more, a little further distances, a little more in daylight. So there's challenges with each, but hunting ag ground, I mean, obviously you're going to scout around food sources. That's going to tell you, where the deer are eating. You're able to see tracks really well and like bean fields and cornfields, alfalfa. You'll be able to tell what kind of like deer density is there, even if there's, some good bucks in the area by cutting a good track. So a lot of times my scouting might start on the edges of that, where it's adjacent to something that looks like it would hold deer, and where for me in particular, because I'm after, maybe a higher caliber of animal, something that has a little age to it, I'm looking at something that an area, a piece of cover, or something that tells me a buck could get old there. Or that's the type of cover that, tends to hold older bucks. It could be a swamp or marsh that's in ag ground that butts up to that. Or it could be a big chunk of timber. It's got the depth and it's got the high stem count, or it's got the vegetation type in there where a deer can be in there and be hidden, not like open park type woods. So if I saw that, like if I was scouting and I'm walking through the field and I see some tracks and I'm like, oh, there's a few deer here. And then I go into the woods and it's like, I can see 100 yards. It's kind of open, not a lot of undergrowth. Like I'm not going to waste my time there, because the deer I'm after aren't in that type of, they want secure cover. It could be in ag ground. It's a lot of times it's a swamp or marsh. It's a larger woods or a densely covered woods, that has, briars in it, or just vegetation that's more at that deer height.